My name is Gretchen Nielsen, and I'm an activist and a freelance writer. A pregnancy clinic is next door to the recruiting office complex on Speedway in Wilson. Pro-war and anti-abortion people are now waving flags together, and there's something ironically poetic about their chants of "baby killer" when anti-war and pro-choice people walk by. You know, it just sounded crazy to me, but I finally get it. To their minds, patriotic citizens can kill tens of thousands of babies that belong to the perceived enemy, but every American embryo should be protected. Their standing together as servants of the war machine makes perfect sense. They're parallel factions of a brainwashed force that's destroying our already diminishing middle class. In a ruthlessly competitive rich-poor system, nothing serves the wealthiest of the wealthy more than an endless supply of uneducated, impoverished, disposable human cluster bombs to kill and die in the profiteers' endless wars. Politicizing a religious concept, political leaders who have the chutzpah to call themselves pro-life have been wooing their right-wing base by bragging about their compassion for the vulnerable, innocent, unborn. They display little or no compassion for the woman they'd forced to carry a fetus to term, and their passionate concern for the unborn begins to lose steam as soon as an infant is placed in the little layette that fundraisers have provided. Do they support financial aid for the mother? Do they support preschool programs, after-school programs, or school lunch for the undernourished? Do they support more and higher paid teachers per child in public schoolrooms? Typically, none of the above. Extremists, political and religious, have merged to invade our public institutions to establish ROTC, to invite recruiters to glorify military service, and to grant federal tax money only to schools that teach abstinence-only sex education, depriving students of information about methods of contraception. Thank goodness Governor Janet Napolitano refused to take money to withhold information from our children. It's impossible, though, to get factual information about the military and about alternatives to military service into the classrooms. Some schools actually seduce students into taking vows of virginity, often broken, adding guilt to the teenager's burden, who, having no knowledge of contraception, might be unlucky enough to get pregnant. She's easy prey for clinics where she's educated into going along with the choice they've made for her. Maybe everything will work out like it does in those romantic movies that end happily ever after for the woman who gives birth to an unplanned child. But for teenagers who don't have any money, a loving family, close friends, an education, or a lot of brains, those films should be shown with a warning, "Don't try this at home." Adoption as an alternative when there's mutual respect and no secrecy, when it's truly a choice on the part of everybody, can be lovely. I'm wondering if the anti-choice extremists who are trying to outlaw abortion would try to enact a law requiring a couple to adopt, along with the infant they've been waiting for, one of the many older children who are waiting to be wanted. Or could we agree that it should be their choice? I have many friends in the peace movement who oppose abortion on religious grounds, but they also support every woman's right to make her own decisions. The right-wing religious extremists are not so democratic, and in our eagerness to protect their religious freedom, we pull our punches, while they work tirelessly to rob women of rights we've wrenched from their tyrannical grandparents. They're skilled in fending off questions, and we're often intimidated by their self-righteous rage and childlike fragility. We seldom confront anti-abortion people, for example, who would allow an abortion, if the woman was raped or the victim of incest. We tend to accept that crumb of compassion for the woman and hesitate to expose their condescension for what it is, proof that their anti-choice position is not pro-life. It's simply judgmental and punitive. I don't know one pro-choice person who would try to persuade a woman to have an abortion against her will. Each of us has the right to choose to live according to our various religious beliefs. But in the United States of America, no religion has the right to dictate our collective behavior. Every woman deserves the right to choose a safe and legal abortion, and every infant born into this world deserves to be welcomed, nourished, and respected in a loving atmosphere. Our money spent on the war machine of a competitive, rich-poor system would be better spent on the vulnerable, innocent, born everywhere. My name is Gretchen Nielsen, and this has been my commentary.